I was sitting on the porch swing, my bare feet curled under me, a paperback open on my lap. The heat of July settled thick in the air, making everything smell like cut grass and the last of the lilacs by the fence. The ice in my lemonade had melted to nothing. I'd read the same sentence 5 times when I heard the low growl of an engine. A white U-Haul rolled up next door, its tires crunching gravel. I watched as a woman stepped out. She was tall and slim, wearing jeans and a loose shirt that hung off her shoulders like it didn't belong to her. Her hair was pulled back, messy, like she'd been too tired to fix it. A little girl followed her, maybe 5 or 6, holding tightly to her hand like the world might tip over if she let go. There was something about the woman's face, not scared, exactly, but wary. Like someone who didn't fully trust the sunlight. "Hi there," I called out, shading my eyes. "You need a hand?" She jumped a little, like she hadn't noticed me. Then she gave a small, polite smile. The kind people wear when they're trying to be okay. "That would be lovely," she said. "I'm April. This is my daughter, Lily." I slid my book onto the swing cushion and stood up, brushing my palms on my shorts. The air clung to my skin as I walked across the lawn, wiping sweat off the back of my neck with the edge of my sleeve. "Mary," I said, offering my hand, then quickly switching to help her with a box. "Been on this street 20 years. It's nothing fancy, but it's quiet. Folks mostly keep to themselves." April gave a little nod and adjusted her grip. The box was heavier than it looked, but I didn't say anything. Her arms shook slightly as we lifted it together. "Can't be easy moving on your own," I added. "It's a fresh start," she said. Her voice sounded like dry leaves, soft, fragile. I glanced at the girl. Lily had sat down on the porch step, hugging a stuffed rabbit to her chest. Her eyes scanned everything, the yard, the street, me. Like she was trying to solve a puzzle too big for her age. "What made you choose this neighborhood?" I asked casually. "It's not exactly the cheapest corner of town." April hesitated, then gave a shrug. "Fate, I guess." She looked away, but I saw it. Her eyes weren't just wandering, they were looking. Past me. Past the boxes. Past the porch. Toward my house. I turned my head and followed her gaze. There he was. Dave. My husband. He was walking past the living room window, wiping his hands on a dish towel like always after lunch. April stared at him. And then she flinched. Not like someone who's surprised. No, like someone who's been hit by a memory. My stomach turned. I knew that look. That look was history. And regret. And secrets not buried deep enough. Inside my house, the kitchen smelled like onions and butter. Dave stood by the counter, his back to me, slicing onions into even little pieces like the world wasn't spinning differently outside. The knife thudded steadily against the cutting board. I leaned on the doorway, arms crossed. "Hey," I said. "That new neighbor, April. You know her?" He didn't turn around. Just kept slicing. "Nope. Never seen her before." His voice was too calm. Too flat. I watched the side of his face, the way his jaw clenched a little too hard, the way his eyes blinked too fast like they were trying to erase something. "She looked like she knew you," I said slowly, studying him. Dave shrugged. He put the knife down, not gently, not roughly, but fast. He wiped his hands on a towel that already had onion juice on it. Maybe she thought I looked familiar. He finally looked at me. "You okay?" I smiled, but it felt wrong on my face. Probably just me being nosy. "Sorry." He reached across the counter and touched my wrist lightly. "You've always been good to people. Let's not borrow trouble." I nodded. Tried to swallow the lump in my throat. He went back to chopping. I went back to pretending. That night, I pulled on my running shoes like I always do around 7. The air was sticky, the sky starting to turn pink and purple at the edges. I opened the front door, earbuds in hand, then groaned when I realized one was missing. I turned around, ready to run back in. But then I stopped. Right there on the grass, halfway to the porch, I saw him. Dave. Slipping across the lawn like a man trying not to be seen. He looked both ways. Then stepped up onto April's porch and opened her door like he'd done it before. Like he knew it wouldn't be locked. Like he knew the layout. Like it was second nature. My breath caught in my chest. He wasn't lost. He wasn't helping. He was going home. To her. I didn't even knock. I just pushed the door open and stormed in like fire, heart pounding so loud I could barely hear myself think. They were in the hallway. Standing close, not touching, but close enough to feel each other's breath. April's eyes were red and puffy, like she'd been crying. Dave looked pale, like someone had drained all the color from his face. My voice came out sharp. What's going on? April jumped like she'd been caught stealing. It's not what you think. Dave held up a hand, like he was trying to keep things calm. Mary, she just needed help with a suitcase upstairs. I stared at him. I didn't blink. A suitcase? I repeated. Dave, don't lie to me. April looked down, chewing on her lip. It was too heavy, she said quietly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make trouble. I stood there for a second, eyes moving between the two of them. Then I nodded. Of course, I said, forcing a smile that didn't reach my eyes. I overreacted. I turned and walked out, slow steps on the wooden porch. The air felt thicker than before. But inside, my thoughts were racing. That lie clung to my skin like dust you can't brush off. It settled in my lungs. That night, after Dave fell asleep, I went to the back of the closet. Pulled out the old storage box with the broken corner. Inside was a photo album I hadn't looked at in years. I sat on the floor, flipping pages. Smiling faces, old friends, college days. And then I found it. A picture from some beach, probably in California. There was April, not just standing beside Dave, but holding him. Her head leaned into his shoulder, and his arm wrapped around her waist. Both of them were grinning like fools in love. They weren't strangers. Not even close. He didn't even try to deny it. We were sitting at the kitchen table, the light above us flickering just a little, like it knew the truth was coming too. Her name is April Gray, Dave said. His hands were gripping the edge of the table, knuckles white. We were together for 3 years. That was before I met you. He wouldn't look at me at first. Just stared at the wood grain like it could answer for him. She says Lily's mine. Based on timing, it's possible. I felt the air leave my chest. Possible? I repeated, my voice quiet but sharp. He nodded, like a man already defeated. She says she didn't tell me sooner because she didn't want to ruin my life. But now, she says Lily deserves her father. She wants me to be in her life. I kept my eyes on him. And what do you want? He looked up then. His eyes were wet, red-rimmed, like he hadn't slept. Or like he'd tried too hard to act normal and cracked from the effort. I want to do right, he said. I don't want to lose you. I love our life. But if Lily's mine. He didn't finish the sentence. I raised my hand, asking him to stop. Give me a month, I said. No decisions until then. He nodded. Maybe he was relieved. Maybe he knew I wasn't done. That month felt like living in a waiting room. Every day stretched thin and tight. I watched April carefully. She didn't act like a woman making peace with the past. She acted like someone watching a clock run down. She paced her porch late at night, always glancing toward our window. She gave me tight, fake smiles at school drop-offs. She didn't look patient. She looked sure. Too sure. And deep in my gut, something itched. The story. The timing. Her anger when Dave didn't move fast. It didn't sit right. Something was off. Something wasn't true. April slammed the front door open so hard it rattled the picture frames on the wall. Her face was red, her voice sharp and breaking as she shouted, "He needs to decide. Lily needs her father. You can't keep him from her." She stood in the hallway like a thunderstorm that had lost control, hair messy, eyes wild, breath coming fast. I didn't flinch. I stayed calm, even though my heart was racing. "I'm not keeping anyone," I said, my voice steady but firm. I stepped past her and opened the drawer in the hallway table. "I just wanted the truth," I said, pulling out a plain white envelope. She went quiet. Her body froze like someone pressed pause. I held out the envelope. "Here." She stared at it, then slowly took it from my hand. Her fingers trembled. She opened it right there. Pulled out the papers. Her eyes scanned the words, then scanned them again. Her face went pale. "It says, she's not his," she whispered. "Not even close," I said. April blinked fast to hold back tears, then let out a shaky laugh. This can't be right." But it was. Dave dropped onto the couch like the truth had knocked the wind out of him. He buried his face in his hands. "I wanted to believe her," he said. "I wanted to help." April stood still, her eyes bouncing around the room like she wanted to disappear. "I just needed a way out," she whispered. "I didn't want to do this alone anymore." I walked her to the door. "You should have asked for help," I said. "Not tried to steal it." When the door closed behind her, Dave looked up at me, broken. "Do you still trust me?" I sat down beside him. "No," I said softly. "But trust can grow again. If you let it." Write in the comments what you think about this story and subscribe to our channel D-Damn Mix.